Hello everyone, Richard here, and today we're going to be looking at Killing Floor 2's Halloween event and what changes we will see in the beta and some we might expect with beta number 2 and the final event release. The first and most obvious change is all the Zeds now have their Halloween skins that we got in last year's event, which is fine. I like them for the most part, with the only exception being the Crawler. Second is the inclusion of a new map, the Ashwood Asylum, and the addition of the objective mode to the Nuked map. The new map is actually quite enjoyable and offers a good mix of open and tight fighting spots with a few hidden surprises that you may see in the background footage, but it's definitely something you will notice after a playthrough or two. The next additions are 5 new weapons that will be added, although 3 are only available in the beta. The ones being included are the Health Thrower, SWAT Nailgun, and Buckshots. All 3 of these weapons being modifications by the Horizon Research Group on existing weapons in our arsenal. The Heathrow is the least exciting weapon for me, as it lacks any decent killing power even when upgraded, although it will have its uses at holding back large groups of trash enemies in corridors and choke points, and being able to mass heal your team. The Nailgun, by contrast, is probably my favorite weapon of the beta so far, firing at a rather high rate considering it is, after all, a nailgun, and also finally gives the SWAT a weapon with penetration power. Thanks to its lightweight, it can be paired with the Chris at tier 5, giving you a rather versatile weapon selection. The final weapon, or weapons, added are the HRG Buckshots, available in single or akimbo for the support, and surprisingly not the gunslinger. While these are reasonably powerful, they do have a substantial amount of kick, meaning practice and crouching will go a long way in improving your effectiveness with these hand cannons. Another major change is the rework of the Abomination being a much more dynamic boss than before, thanks to increased movement speed and damage with less annoying minions to deal with. Both his Vomit and Gorge attacks gained increased damage, although the Gorge attack can be interrupted if you and your team respond quickly enough. His armor values have also been increased by anywhere from 10 to 20% depending on location. However, he does also take an additional 10 to 20% damage to his head, body, and back. The Abomination spawns have had their health nearly halved, down to just 250, and now will no longer leave gas behind them after being slain. Damage from their explosions can also damage the Abomination, so I suppose more motivation to dispatch them quickly. Weapons also received some tweaking, with the Hemogoblin's damage being increased and weight reduced by 1. While its bleed damage was nerfed a bit, many Zeds like the Abomination, Rioter, and Idar now take 5 times more damage from bleed than before. The Nailgun also received an overall buff, increasing its damage, DPS, penetration power, and projectile speed, while increasing ammo costs and taking away 1 starting magazine to balance things out. Hopefully, this makes the Vlad a much more common sight among supports rather than only berserkers. Moving on to perk changes, the Commando now receives a 2% recoil reduction per level, but Hollow Points no longer reduces recoil by 50%. This was done in an effort to balance out Eat Lead and Hollow Points, as the latter was often considered to be far superior. The Berserker's Skirmish skill now applies to all Berserker weapons, not just melee, so feel free to run and gun with the Nailgun and Eviscerator. Last but most definitely not least, there is also an overhaul to Stand Your Ground. Now, instead of holding the position for the entire wave to earn Dosh and XP, you only need to earn kills while in the zone, meaning you won't be penalized for it spawning on the other side of the map. The beta did introduce a lot of other changes that I glossed over, as well as some bug fixes as usual, so feel free to check out the link in the description for more details. Overall, I think that the beta has moved the game in a much better direction as far as balance is concerned, although my analysis is mostly from an on-paper perspective, so we shall see as I rack up some more game time. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when we take a deeper look at some of the weapons added and how they mix up the meta. Until then, happy hunting.